First, thank you very much for the invitation. I'm super happy to be here. That was a lovely introduction. Thank you very much. And to answer your first question, it's an interesting one. Honestly, I don't have like a particular moment when I just decided to go into supply chain and logistics, right? I think that since a young kid, I have always been very enthusiastic about the international things, right? I love languages. I'm always curious about knowing the countries, their cultures, how do they look like? So when I decided to study international business as a major degree, was with the intention of learning more about that, about how countries interact with each other. And, one thing just led to another. And at some point of my life, I had the opportunity to live abroad in countries like France and China. And that was when a whole new world opened for me. And when I entered the workforce in my, let's say, early 20s, I discovered supply chain. And I discovered that it was a world full of adventures. Once I got into there and I was involved in that industry, I have just stayed there.
Wow. The way you describe supply chain sounds like such a dream. Like you made it sound so dreamy that I think our audience is gonna be like, is it actually that dreamy? And I think Carolina agrees with that. Please continue. Then what happened?
Well, I think it's a I won't say that it's a dream, but it's an industry full of things that we are not aware of. I mean, we think and probably in a school we only see logistics like moving products from A to B. And really is so much more than that. Is yes, it's moving products from A to B, but at the same time, you need to deal with contracts, price, race negotiations, industry challenges, port congestions, airports, strikes, hurricanes. There are so many things that can happen in so many areas within supply chain that you can get into. I mean, if someone really likes laws and regulations, can go into customs brokerage. If someone really likes numbers and finance and costs, they can go into procurement, right? I mean, there are so many things that you can do in the same supply chain.
True. And wow, the beauty of how you described what I'm trying to do, that is attract people towards the sector because it is so, so awesome. And the fact that it is so, so huge and diverse that it is not just stuck to one specific thing. You can perform your amazing passion for finance by getting into procurement. So you are performing a mix of supply chain and finance, and that makes it so, so amazing for the sector that it is. And
Correct.
talking about, yes, please continue. Talking about supply chain, you are the best person to know more about it from. And we are waiting for that awesome journey which led to you finding WEL. So, yes, I'm just gonna wait.
So let me just get back into that several fields that you can get into when you go into supply chain. It is really an advantage to try all of those fields because they complement each other. So in my journey, I had the opportunity to be in several of them. I have done procurement. I have learned how to review contracts, rates negotiation. I have done project management. I have made implementation projects that led me to other kind of learnings. I've run operations in several countries, so that will lead me to different learnings. So, but each one of them are just stacking up within each other, and they really make a whole professional knowledge that is not on silos. It's not like if I work on procurement, that doesn't help me if I do operations, right? So it really complements each other. So it's a really, really nice industry to be in and to try, allows you to try different things.
That is so true and amazing. And the way you are shows how much passion you have for this sector. And thank you for explaining our audience how this place is for everyone. Like, you can be from finance and you can enter supply chain and get into procurement and experience the two worlds. You can get into the other aspects of things and learn so much from different aspects of it. Like, I love the pointing it out that it's a chain. So you deal with procurement, warehousing, transportation, and whatnot. Like, the whole process of it is so different. Talking about trucking, and
Yeah.
you can experience everything. Like, you can actually live your life. And talking about the amazing initiative that you are conducting, WEL, please tell us more about it.
Right. So, WEL, Women Enhancing Logistics, it's a program that I started 6 years ago already. So, let me tell you a little bit of a short story on why I started that one. So, first of all, we need to acknowledge that supply chain and logistics have been always an industry very male dominated. That's historical facts. It is what it is, right? So at some point of my career, I realized that I was the only woman on the table. The fact that in a lot of meetings, I was, and sometimes I still are, one of the few women in there. So I wanted to leverage my position within Lenovo to do something about it. Let me tell you, I'm very, very fortunate to be part of Lenovo because it is a company that really encourages innovation, diversity, and individual growth. So Women Enhancing Logistics is an initiative that have always the support of our global head of logistics. I created it back in 2019, that is pre-COVID. And within this program, we look to contribute to Lenovo's diversity actions, but as well to influence the industry towards a more inclusive supply chain. So that's the story on why I started the program. Now, what we do in the program is through online sessions, we intend to highlight topics and drive conversations to help to accelerate women's leadership. I really want to show role models for all of us to follow. I wanted to tell everybody that if they want to be a vice president, a CEO, it can be done. I won't ever say that it's going to be easy. I won't ever say that I have discovered the secret recipe because I haven't. But I wanted to show that it's possible. And
Okay.
I do want to showcase those stories of success, people that have already accomplished that. Honestly, my purpose is for the next generation. Whenever they think on a logistics manager, they can think not only on a man with safety boots and a helmet, but think on a woman
Mhm.
working on a crane, a woman working on a forklift, a woman supervising shipments in and out on a warehouse. That is diversity, and that is my final intention with the Women Enhancing Logistics program.
And that is so awesome and inspiring. The fact that you have been doing it for 5 years makes it so amazing. And the fact that Lenovo has backed you up with it makes it even better for spreading awareness, because when that such a big brand is backing you makes it worth it for people to watch that. Okay, it's being backed by it definitely holds a lot of importance. And I'm super sure that the last 5 years you have inspired and helped so many people understand the sector better, but also improve themselves in terms of their confidence and the way they lead in the future, because
Correct.
you definitely inspired a lot of people, including me, as to why I chose the sector. You helped me understand it better. I'm like, yeah, okay, I finally can think back that, yeah, I had reasons for choosing this. What has been one of your biggest challenges that you have faced when you stepped into leadership roles? Because you are functioning in at a global level, and I I'm convinced that that's not easy.
Well, yeah, for sure. I mean, working in like multicultural, global roles has its unique challenges that, let's say, let go beyond typical just leadership skills, right?
Yes.
So just to mention a few challenges that I see on the top of my head, what will be first? It's culture. I mean, culture really influences the way that we act. So depending on what part of the world you are working with, there might be some different communication styles and different ways of acting. So
True.
as leaders, I have faced the fact that I have to navigate to
Mm-hmm.
and really respect the culture boundaries along that at the same time that I'm building my a unified organizational culture within my own team. So I need to adapt my own culture with my team's cultural background, and my organization culture. Everything needs to match. And that's why it's really important how we need to adapt our own approach into this relationship building thing. Second, language for sure, especially uh, for a lot of us that
Yeah.
English is not our mother tongue,
Absolutely.
right? Miscommunication is very easy. So even the tone that you are
Yeah.
using while talking can cause some misunderstandings, right?
True.
So as leaders, that's another thing that we just, I won't say be super careful, but we need to be
Yeah.
aware,
True.
and we need that language fluency. I mean, I wish I can speak like 10 different languages so that I can speak to all my team members in their own mother tongue, right? Um,
Definitely.
and then I will say distance, time zones. That's another thing that now that we are all used to this remote working model and these hybrid modes, and especially for people like me that we have to deal with different time zones, different countries that our team members are based on, even 3 hours, 2 hours difference, or even for myself, like sometimes 14 hours difference.
Yeah.
Um, it's another thing that we need to take into consideration, right? So we need to adapt and really think how to adapt and synchronize work and balance as fair as possible while scheduling one-on-ones or meetings across our teams time zones. But on the concept of just leadership itself, I think that leadership is not a title. It's
True.
not a business position. I mean, right? It's not something that goes and be reading in your resume, or it's not going to be on an organizational chart. But I see it more like a way of acting as a leader in a multicultural environment. We need to be what I call a bridge builders. So we need to balance strategy, but adapt that strategy to the local markets, the local teams. We need to
Mm-hmm.
foster that cultural richness. We need to foster and drive inclusion as well, keeping a balance and make sure we have our operations agile and
True.
resilient. But it's a
True.
mix of everything. So we just need to be very careful and very aware of that.
Mhm. That actually sounds like an awesome, awesome piece of advice that you just provided. But at the same time, I have a doubt. Does these challenges of managing so many things come with the growth that you experience in your career? Or will I be, so when I say I mean a freshie who would just be starting off,
Mhm.
also be facing such challenges when I step in? And the challenges, if they are different, how?
Yeah, I think it's not about the position on an org
Uh-huh.
chart that you have, but even for a freshman on a multicultural global company, you're going to be working with people from all around the world, your
Yeah.
peers. Maybe you're going to be sitting next to a person that is not from the same hometown that you are. They're going to have different background. They're going to have different ways to act. So I think that respecting and getting to know that culture and understanding the boundaries within each other, I think that's the very first thing that we all need to understand. And it's incredible. I mean, and it's incredible how fast and how different all environments that are changing nowadays. If I take a look on my kids' school, my kids have classmates, not only Mexicans, but as
Yeah.
well they have Hindus, they have Americans, they have even a couple of Colombians and Brazilians in the same school. I mean, I didn't have that when I was starting my elementary school, right? I mean,
Yeah.
it it's changing so rapidly
True.
that maybe for us and people from my generation, it was like very changing and very shocking when we start to work with these global companies nowadays. I mean, it's business as usual. I mean, it's
True.
right. I mean, it's
I think
so
that's awesome because your kid is actually learning all of the things from the base, like from scratch at such a young age that it won't come as a shock to the kid in future. It'll be like, yeah, I've seen this in school. That's okay.
right. Yeah, and that's okay. Yes, I mean, if I take them into vacations, they will know how to act, how to behave in other cultures, things that I had to learn when I was already a grown up.
That is actually so true. And I think that's actually a very, very big advancement and a amazing positive change that has taken place because it helps to understand things and adapt things faster. Because I feel adaptability also comes more when you are younger. Like you take it
Yes.
easily. Like I think I'm just 22, but still I think I would have learned a language faster if I was in like fifth grade, like 10 or 11 than if you ask me to do it now. Because now I'm low-key stubborn when it comes to my language. I'm like, yeah, but I speak English. Why do I have to learn Dutch or French when it comes to that? So it does come with time. But yeah, it's like now I'm so consciously aware that I already speak like five languages, which is like
Mhm.
including the languages of India. So I'm like, I don't want to learn the sixth one unless it's serving a purpose. But if someone had told me, oh, new language when I was a kid, it would have been like, yeah, let's do it.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's important to stay always curious, right? I mean, I think that
Definitely.
curiosity is something that we should never lose. It's what
Definitely.
that will spark something inside us to
Mhm.
learn new things, to ask questions, just to walk around and let's say if you go to the warehouse, what is
Mhm.
it? What is that? How does that work? You will learn just by asking very simple questions. I mean, so it's asking questions is not a bad thing, and being curious, it's not gonna be. You cannot go wrong with that.
True. And that is definitely true because had I not asked you to be my guest, you wouldn't have said yes to me. So my first-hand experience agrees with your amazing advice that you just gave us. And it is true that asking is not harmful, just try.
Yes, yes.
And the way our sector is evolving technologically and digitally as well, how do you think we as women in the world of logistics are gonna be performing in the next 10 years?
Wow, that's a tough question. I wish I could see the future. But I mean, indeed, technology is advancing on a rapid pace, and
True.
it's very important to keep up with it. But that doesn't mean that everyone has to become an AI expert or that everybody has to learn how to code, right? It's not like that. But what matters the most is to understand in very simple terms what these new technologies and what these new tools do, how they work, and how they can help us in our work. Technology like AI, digital tools, digital twins. I don't, there are so many things around, and there are so many things that are changing how we do things every day.
Definitely.
These tools and this technology won't replace people,
Mm-hmm.
but the people who know how to use the new technology will be the ones that move forward. So it's very important just to realize that if we ignore these changes, we just will have the risk of falling behind because others will learn and will adapt, and those peoples are the ones that will take the lead. The concepts and everything are always evolving, so we need to learn them as we go. The best thing that we can do is just stay curious again,
True.
ask questions, keep
Mm-hmm.
learning. Even, I mean, sometimes the things are gonna feel strange. They're gonna feel super new. They're gonna feel like we're seeing an alien language there, right? But we need to be open to learn, be
Yeah,
patient with ourselves, and eventually everything will help us to stay strong in our own careers. I mean, we don't need to be on a very big company, and we don't need to have a lot of resources. The only thing that we need is to have the willingness to start learning and to think about how things could be done better with the use of technology. I mean, at the end, it's just about growing with the changes and not being felt left behind by them.
definitely. And that definitely helps me and the girls who are gonna be girls, why girls? Everyone who's gonna be
Yeah.
entering the sector in the upcoming years. I'm not saying people are not nice, but people are still confused to a very high extent on a lot of things when it comes to giving advice. But AI still has a higher sense of clarity if we ask it to. The correct prompts, the correct orders is going to help you make your life so much
Mhm.
easier.
True,
And
true.
that matters.
Correct. And I love what the approach that I live and breathe every day in my work, in my life. I mean, at Lenovo, we have this slogan that we use: smarter technology for all. And I love
Wow.
that because I mean, the fact is smarter, right? It's not just using just because, it's using it in the best way possible. And for all, I mean, AI and technology is not for only for developers. It is not only for software engineers, data
True.
analysts. No, I mean, technology is for all: for the mom, for the dad, for the kid, for the entrepreneur, for the person, the student, for anyone. It's that I love that phrase, and I really live and breathe it every day in my life because you can use it for everything.
Definitely. And it actually does help and make a lot of sense. Like I have been cooking using AI because I like the Google recipes, but sometimes I am so used to talking to AI that I just be like, how to make this. And then I even mention, I don't have this specific things, so give me an alternative or tell me how to
Mhm.
make it without it. Because
Yeah.
for Google, Google is great. Definitely, it's still one of the most used browser that we have, but it still has those specific recipes which won't eliminate, which I don't have. But for AI, I'm like, can you please fix these with this? Like, suppose I'm saying I don't have sweet potato, then it's just gonna be like,
Mhm.
then try using the normal potato. That's still fine. Still tastes the same. Or an
Yeah.
alternative, even the basic things like, say I'm like complaining about some issues with my stomach, it's gonna give me the first advice is go to the
Yeah.
doctor. But if I'm just gonna play around and be like, I want something which is like at home solution, it will give me something. And that works perfectly for us. So yeah,
True.
getting comfortable does help because it can help you grow in the longer term. I know that I have used it for understanding some really basic, stupid questions, which I feel if I had asked a person, I would be judged so loudly. Like, I don't like to talk about it, but yeah, I'm so serious about it, and it
Yeah.
can work out in our favor in very high ways if we can use it correctly. And
Correct. And
that's mhm,
and that's the thing, right? I mean, we can use it for everything, and the only thing is that we just need to take that first step and start using it, getting
yeah.
used to it, getting acknowledged on what can I do.
Hmm.
Um, and for simple things, I mean, now you can be on a meeting, there's a concept that
True.
you don't know, you ask in there, just aside a meeting, and then you can ask smarter questions, right?
True. That is so
You,
true.
I
And
mean,
it,
you still need that human approach, and that will
yes,
never gonna fade out. You, we will always need that human approach, but technology can make things easier for us.
definitely. And it does make our life easier. Like I have spoken to so many people about, you guys are the live proof. I'm back in India and you are sitting there enjoying your life in Mexico, and we can still coordinate better. Even like for me, to be honest, I even use AI for time conversions because there are times my brain doesn't think that plus 4.5 hours or
Hmm.
something. I'll
Yeah.
have to use my brain. Why should I? Like AI is just gonna give me exactly the time I need to check. Then I'll just do
Yeah.
that. And
Yeah.
it
My
does
husband says that we need to use our brains in
uh-huh.
smarter things.
Yeah. That's actually so true. Like, why should I spend my time calculating the time difference? It's okay. AI is doing it beautifully for me.
Yeah.
And thank you for like giving us these amazing examples of how it's not that hard to use AI for your normal life. Like, if people want to start, they could just start with these basic things which can help them feel comfortable with it. And
Yes.
it's even great when you don't have anyone to talk to, be like, hi, how are you? Is this going to respond just like your friend would?
Mhm. Yeah, yes. I mean, my kids are using it for understanding concepts that they are taught in school. Right? I
Yeah,
mean,
that's
something that
actually
they
true.
didn't quite understand very good.
Yeah.
Just arrive home in the afternoons, open the laptop, and hey, what is this? And then and they can start interacting within the computer and everything. I'm like, who are you talking to? Well, I'm just asking about this science stuff that I learned
True.
today. And I'm like, okay. But it's
That's
so easy
actually
for
so
them now.
awesome. Yeah, and I feel that's actually so awesome because I feel your kids are literally implementing what they learned into real life by
Yeah.
like cross questioning with the AI. And sometimes it gets so comfortable with understanding it from the AI because at least for me, there are times I don't understand and I ask the same thing like 3 to 4 times. I don't think I can do that so comfortably with a human because I'll feel judged or I'll be embarrassed myself to do that. So it
Yeah.
does make life easier and less embarrassing. Talking about the amazing initiative again, the community that you have built is so, so awesome. What exactly do you think is the major effect of community on the individuals that are a part of it?
Well, about community and the Wellman Enhancing Logistics program, now that we are on the 6th year of the program, it has been amazing how much grown it has had. It has been much rapidly than expected, that's for sure. And as a person and as a professional, I have learned so much while doing it as well. It really has been an incredible journey.
Definitely.
To tell a little bit of numbers, we have reached over 3,200 individuals globally,
Wow.
feature more than 80 panelists from around the world,
Oh my God.
20 different, plus and 20 different nationalities represented in there, more than 99,000 views on social media, which we use LinkedIn
Oh,
as a platform. And
crazy.
that is just setting the pace for change. This is an inspirational program, and it really fills
Definitely.
my heart when after each one of the sessions I receive a message in comments from our audience saying that we have inspired them, that we have helped them to feel heard, that they are not feeling alone. So that I think that is the best reward that I can have. We have been able to create a safe forum so that
Definitely.
everybody can be listened to, where everybody really can feel part of something.